I didn't write it from when I wrote the book, The Ugly Side of Sex, I didn't write it from the aspect of, how to beat porn or a porn addiction or how to beat sex addiction. I just wrote what I went through. And in doing so, in selling my books, I in turn took my pain, my hurt, my shame at the time, and I was able to help other people.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
What up, people? It's your girl, Karen KK Rose, with, of course, my amazing co-host, the lovable asshole, Mr. DK Walker. Mr. DK Walker, say hello to the people.
People. What it do? Hey, quick question. Why don't you, I have that tagline of being the lovable asshole, and I don't know which one is more or less believable, the lovable part or the asshole part. We'll let people, chime in. But why don't you go by your tagline, the Thorny Chick? I know you're always sticking KK.
Because I've always gone as KK, so I just always stick to what's comfortable.
Right. So you think I always went with, like, I've always not been a lovable asshole. Maybe at one time in life I was really lovable, right?
Really?
That's the day I was born. And then maybe 5 days later I was just all asshole. So like it was, right.
Really?
So you might have to want to adapt. Like, I kind of like the tagline. I mean, KK, sounds is more of a personal thing. What your girlfriends, family, and friends call you.
That's true.
The podcast wants to know the Thorny Chick. It's no need for one of us to be an asshole, another person just be KK. Like,
no, it is. It's the balance.
It's
the balance.
That's just it. I think right. But that's just it. I think being imbalanced, being imperfect, being just off your fucking rocker at times. Giving the people what they want. Like I think there's so many. Like there's like literally thousands upon thousands of podcasts out there, right? And our job is to be, as entertaining as possible, as informative as possible. But we have to do it in such a way that the dynamic is undeniable and can't be forgotten. So I don't know. If I have to be an asshole by myself, then so be it. I will pick up the mantle of being an asshole and wear it proudly.
Thank you.
Things I do for love. The Love Is Podcast.
Thank you for introducing us. And this is the Love Is Podcast.
that it is. If it ain't, y'all got to excuse us. We so silly right now.
Because you know what? I wanted to come in. I can't think if it's Future 2 Chainz ago. I'm different. Yep, I'm different. When you were describing podcasts, I was like, see, if I did that, I'd be really childish right now.
No, you just holding on to
the scene. What was missing?
Yeah, you just holding on to your youth, and your age is like, let go, it's over.
Oh, not the Frozen, let it go.
With your old ass. I'm sorry.
Old yet. I can hold on. I could be very Wilson Phillips and hold on, kicking and screaming these next 3 years till I hit 40. Then when I'm 40, it all changes. So
right. Well, so let me go ahead and let you live that life for the next 3 years. But I'm here to tell you. It's all over. So yeah, at least for me. I don't want to speak that on anybody else. Like
you should know as you've gone over the hill. I haven't even gotten to it yet.
Shit, I am the damn hill. Like there's no need to go over what you are. I am the hill. Let's not get that twisted.
Say we didn't have to kick you over it yesterday. Last year you just were there.
I've been the hill since I've been born. Like, please, my age finally caught up to the way I've been feeling. So I promise you.
Lord have mercy. So last week was Memorial Day weekend. I don't know why I felt like a 2-day cookout was necessary at my house. I think I was just missing my siblings and the kids and all that kind of stuff. So a 2-day cookout at my house seemed like a good idea until Mother Nature decided to turn the heat up to 92 degrees on the first day. I was, I had gone and got my hair done and I was trying to keep it straight. Yep. As soon as I walked out, Mother Nature touched it and it frizzed up. I was like, to hell with this. I'm back to big hair, don't care. And my whole curly, symbol looking afro right now, which I, like rocking better anyway. So I feel like myself again. But yeah, 2 days of cooking out and having to clean up behind grown folks. And, just wasn't the smartest ideas. Just wasn't.
Yeah. Well, true. We did a little something at the house too. My mother-in-law came up. Some family came over, friends came over, and had a good time. We laughed and kiki and caca. We ate. Oh, I went in too hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you fix a plate and then you supposedly like get the stuff that you didn't get the first time. I fixed the plate, then I doubled down on it. I'm sitting there, stomach bigger than my eyes. I'm like, Jesus, help me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody lay hands on me. Somebody lay hands and X-Lax so I can move this off me and out of me.
You need somebody to lay hands on you and rub your belly so you
that
can
too.
get some
like,
movement.
Please.
And you know what the thing was? I didn't eat like as bad as I thought I did. I had made, on both days, I made like a house special cocktail. So the first day was Moscato Punch. And the next day was, it's called, what is it? Hop, skip, and go naked or something like that. Everybody's got a different version of it.
What?
Mm-hmm. Hop, skip, and go naked.
Is that anything like the drink come in your mouth? Is that anything like?
I don't know what that is. What's in that one? Listen, now I'm about to go Google it.
You should, right? I don't drink. I just, read stuff and that. I seem to retain all things sexual. So I digress.
I don't know, but I had to look it up. But the hop, skip, and go naked is literally whiskey, beer, and frozen lemonade.
Why would you okay, I don't drink, so that may taste good to somebody. Or pardon me, I drink.
I'm sorry.
Infrequently, so I can't say I don't drink. Let me correct myself, because as soon as I took a sip of something, my wife was like, "I thought you said you don't drink." Like, wow, I'm a grown ass man. Can I change my mind?
No, that's a woman to change her prerogative.
No, right? It's crazy, and a man just has to stay stoic and stuck in his ways.
Yes,
man, get the bleep out of here. Stop it.
I'll leave that one alone. But yeah, so hop, skip, and go naked. That was the drink of choice. But I ate a cupcake, I drank, and then I had 10 o'clock. I was like, ice cream sounds like a good idea. And of course, it's vegan ice cream, so I really did not feel bad about that part. But I was like, yeah, thank God the gym's opening in a couple days because I definitely need to be back in it.
So how does that work out? So are you going to be in the first wave of people that's going to rush out? Or are you going to be in the other wave of people that lets the first wave of people rush out to see how many of the first wave kill over in the process? I'm just curious.
Oh, I'm definitely doing first wave. No, I'm not doing first wave. I'm going to see what the first wave does just because I feel good, we've kind of beaten this dead horse and turned it into glue. I felt fine about going to the beautician just because my beautician owns her salon and that was a controlled environment. Oh, at the gym, and you see how other folks behave, especially, again, I work at an ER. So just seeing how other folks operate and what their version of covering their mouth is and what their version of wash their hands are. Yeah, no. I'll definitely wait the second round. Definitely, let the ear pods charge and, get all my outfits together. Buy me some new shoes.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with, walking around the neighborhood. There's nothing wrong with doing calisthenics at the house, all jokes aside. There's things that you can do to maintain and I should be taking my own advice. God knows I should be. There's things that you can do to maintain a healthy lifestyle that has nothing to do with the gym. I think that's definitely going to be needed because, people are going to be back. And they're going to be so hard pressed to get back to the old normal, forgetting about the new normal. And so that's going to be interesting at best. I think the interaction between people is going to be crazy. You see your man, you wake up, you walk up to him and you give him a pound and you pull him in for that, that half hug, you know what I mean? So it's just like you remember to do that and then you stop yourself because of what we just went through. Right. So it's going to be some really, really interesting times as we adapt or, go back to what we used to do. So I'm going to really play the old head card and sit my old ass on the sidelines and observe. And then, once the chips fall one way or the other, then, I will tread with caution.
I'm not that disciplined to work out at home. Believe it or not, as much weight as I've lost as much as, motivation as I put out, I'm really not one of those people that can work out at home. I really, really can't. I think it's just a whole aesthetic about the gym and like having my playlist. And I think equally it's a place to be away from everybody. So my mom's not there. The kids ain't there. Nobody really needs me. I can answer a few texts here and there. I'm kind of like in my zone. So I think I just like the let out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder to be at home when you're quarantined with the same people that you kind of want to be away from right now because you've been together for a while.
Right. So, okay. So, like, listen to the podcast. So, like, I need you to do me a favor. Like, I heard her give that whole spiel why she had to get back to the gym. And it sounded like all PC, right? You got to read between the lines. Like, she talked about being quarantined with people. Like, she needed to get out. She needed to get her playlist. She had to get her clothes together. Like, if you read between the lines, the reason that she has to get back to the gym, that's why half-naked men are at. It's the only reason she's going back. She needs to see some sweaty ass. You gotta read like all
she's
that
single.
Cute.
She's single.
I'm not knocking what you are, but I'm just saying let's be real. Why the real reason you're going back, it has nothing to do with who you like. You not being motivated, it has nothing to do like I want to get out the house. Whomever's driving me crazy. Just like I just need to see some sweat, and that's all it was about. It's cool. Just be honest with the people. The people will appreciate that.
Listen, a good 6-foot juggernaut, ain't too bad. Ain't too bad to look at.
I mean, I can't speak on that.
My workout partner's a guy. So, most guys don't talk to me because my workout partner is a guy and he's 6 foot, like 6'7". He's a big guy. And they normally, because he'll come over and he'll check on me, they think we go together. And I'm like, no. Once upon a time, I actually used to babysit him, which is a funny story to share with other people. But I'm like, no, that's not my boyfriend.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, again, it's not bad motivation. It's not bad motivation to see, a glistening body other than your own. It's good focus.
See, we went 5 minutes to get to 30 seconds. We went through 5 minutes of bullshit to get to 30 seconds of truth. Like, I'm not understanding life here. Like, the people want, like, they tuning in, right? Because they figure, like, we can come here. These people are going to be transparent. They're going to be honest. So from here on out, please, can we just go ahead and say, no matter what it may make us look like, let's be honest with them. I'm going there to look at ass. It's what I'm going to do.
I'm not going to look at ass. I'm not an ass woman.
Whatever it is that floats your boat, that's why you going. It ain't like you going like, oh my, like I'm gonna want to get back to benching and squatting and Pilates and boxing.
I don't like Pilates and I don't like yoga.
I'm
actually going back to get on the bench. Thank you very much.
Right. Same bitch that, Okay, it's cool. It's not a problem.
Right.
Moving along.
Right, moving along. So anything else that we want to discuss about Memorial Day weekend and getting back to a quote-unquote regular lifestyle? Because, we had Monday off and then it was back to work. All fun things. That grown-ups have to do.
Man. I'm good. Like, we didn't do that the last couple of podcasts too and whatnot. Shout out to the frontline workers for holding it down. As much as people think that, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because people that's home going out their mind. But people that has to go to work, even if the threat is not pronounced in some areas, the stress still is real. That stress factor is still there, and to have to go out every day and have to deal with the population under its current circumstances, it can be very stressful. Like, and that alone is a wear and tear on the body. So, like, the people that are staying home, like, we know that you're tired. We know that you're burnt out. We know that you want to get away from your significant other or whomever that you may be living with at this time. But for the frontline workers, I promise you, I feel, because I too am a frontline worker. By night, I am your lovable asshole, Mr. DK Walker. But by daytime, I'm a sanitation technician. That's a fancy word for trash man. So with that being said, stress is real. I'm just waiting for us to get back to some form of normalcy. That's all I'm waiting for. But, I just implore people to be smart, be patient, smile if nothing else. When you're tired and you want to lash out, you want to, question everything that's going around you, just take time out and smile. Although people can't see you smile, it'll do something for you because you got the mask on, so of course people can't see your smile, but you smiling when the situations are bad or when a person doesn't understand what you're going through, whether it is staying in the house or whether it is that because you have to go to work and because you're dependent upon to keep the country together, smile. The joy itself does wonders for you. And if somebody happens to catch your smile, like if you're in the house or you're in the car, like that's contagious. And I'd rather be infected by joy than anything else.
Very nice. Very nice. People can tell when you're smiling behind a mask. I'm here to tell you because I would know because I wear one 8 or 12 hours a day, as I am to a frontline worker working at the registration department of the ER. People can definitely tell when you're smiling. They definitely can tell when your resting bitch face is on 1,000. The stress it's at its all-time high. We are obviously all concerned because as the cities are opening up and, you can go out to restaurants and things like that, we're all worried about what the second wave looks like. As we didn't know what we were fighting the first wave, I can't tell you that we know what we're fighting the second wave, but we definitely know what to do a little better than we did the first time. Please, by all means, wash your hands. If you would like to send DK Walker or myself a thank you for what we do on the front lines, or you have any comments, feedback, or questions you want to ask us during a podcast, you can send it to. You don't know your own email? Oh, I'm just playing.
I don't get paid enough to this is not my part of the show. I'm just here to be an asshole. I know my role. My role is not to give out pertinent information to have people get in contact with us. Now, it's not my role, although I know it, right? Because I actually set up the email. It's not a problem.
Oh,
I'm slight techie over here, right? Not a problem.
Slight
techie.
So to send that thank you, that shout out, that whatever.
And it was funny how you was. I'm sorry. It was funny. Please don't lose the train of thought. It was hilarious how you, and then there was that dead silence, something that should never happen on the podcast or like live radio. A person should know their cue and step right in. So I'm sitting here just looking at the screen like, yeah, okay, she gonna pick it up. Is she gonna keep going? Or she gonna wait? I'm gonna wait too. Oh, we gonna wait. Oh, we are going to wait.
We're both going.
But anyway, if you got to ask me a question, I got it. Calm down. Got you. Hit me up at askdk@nlpublishing.com. That's askdk@enelpublishing.com. And if you feel as though email, you don't feel like you have what?
That is not your email.
It's not? I promise you, askdk@nlpublishing.com is?
nlpublishingservices.com.
I could be wrong. I've been giving people the wrong address. So no wonder I was quiet. Maybe I should stay quiet more often.
So if you want to send somebody a certain asshole a good old thank you card, a shout out to the email address that he does not know about, it probably that he has not checked, and that's why we haven't had as many questions as we thought we should have. It's askdk@nlpublishingservices.com. That is ENEL publishingservices.com. If you want to reach out to us via text, our cell phone number is 202-715-1645. And if you still just don't feel like you've gotten our attention, you just want to be a little more connected, our social media handles are Dudge American, DAJAMERICAN at Instagram.com. Our podcast is also on Instagram. It is The Love Is Podcast. The trick to find just us, not all Love Is Podcast, is the_love_is_podcast. To find the lovable asshole himself, you can find him at Books by DK Walker at Instagram. And to find us on Facebook, again, it is the Love Is Podcast. However, there's a plethora of them. You have 2 ways to find us. You can look for our logo, which is a red heart that's torn in 2 and some rocking headphones, or you can add us, which is at Love Costs Nothing and Everything. Yes, it is all one word on Facebook.com.
Thank you for correcting me. There's a reason why I be quiet on those segments of the show. I will know my role and shut my hole.
You might want to check the actual correct email too.
That's exactly what I was. Yeah. I was doing that. Like what? Like really?
You might want to be checking the correct email account.
Because I have another podcast. It's like I help people with their books, and I would be like so much egg on my face if I gave out the wrong. Because that's just me by myself. So I have to do that on my other podcast. It's just me. Like if you ever need to write a book, you need to give them the particulars to that as well, if you don't mind, please.
About the podcast or your email address?
Both. Do you even know the name of the podcast?
listen up. I have a story to tell.
You gotta say that. Listen up, like
Listen, what you got is what you getting.
See, that's the problem.
You
now.
asked me a question.
I feel sorry for your man. I feel sorry for your man because he wants more than that sometimes.
Don't worry about that.
He wants more than that.
Listen, don't worry about
that. At least move a left butt cheek or something. Like, just don't lay there.
Listen. Bae is all right. I got a pair of heels that just got delivered to the house. He'll be all right. Don't you never worry about him.
Yeah, okay. All right.
He'll be well taken care of. But first off, can I get kudos for knowing what the other podcast is that I do nothing for?
Okay, see, don't let them see. Once again, stop. You was asking for a pat on the back. You was asking people, don't let this fool you. That I promise you, like, she's my business partner on the other podcast too. So you just keep lying to the people. What are you doing?
I don't go on there. All I do is the copywriting. That's all I do. I copyright and I make sure your schedule's straight. That's pretty much all I do. And I'll say yes or no to your logos.
That's once again. Yeah. A matter of fact, okay. See, I'm gonna tell you how a person, and I apologize. I promise you, because we're trying our best to be transparent. And we want y'all to love us because we're real people. Like, we're gonna talk about we're not gonna, like, you'll hear me go on my motivational rant, like I'm really moving people, and I pray that I am, right? But at the end of the day, we're real people. We have real life problems. But I love my co-host. I promise you, like, she's a diamond in the rough. Like, she has really dug into this vision of not mine, but ours. But right now, for some reason tonight, she's not being transparent enough, and she's not going on. She just, like, I don't know what happened. Like, today's a habitual liar day. Like, we have made up holidays, and I think today actually may be habitual liars day, because I promise you're celebrating that today. Like, she's the creative director of NL Publishing Services Academy.
True.
So, like, how the hell she talking about this is the little bit, like, she has her hand in all the pies over there.
It's true.
Jesus.
That is the hat I wear as the creative director.
So, like,
I know about all moves. I do. I know about all moves and pay for half of everything we do. So yeah, I do know about some of the stuff going on. But I mean, we've been doing good. Okay, so half. I pay for half of everything, including our merchandise.
Okay, once again, see, you got to chop people. I let it slide the first time. So who cares what you pay for? We're talking about what you know what's going on. The listeners don't care what you pay for. That doesn't move the needle in their life, right? No. I'm not Linda, right? It's listen, learn.
Linda.
Well, I stand up when I pee when my knee ain't hurting. So it's listen, learn. Get the help there with that bullshit.
Oh gosh, no depends today. No depends.
I don't know. I haven't leaked in a minute, so I'm good.
No, so then your current residence at Shady Pines is not current.
No, not in the least bit. Not in the least bit.
Oh no.
But yeah.
This is me with our coffee. This could be the potentially issue. I'm not a habitual liar either. My man side maybe just is standing up a little bit stronger. I don't know. No comment. I was waiting for you to be like, you're what?
You know what, Karen? You're dead ass wrong.
For what? What
it's actually, I promise you, it's actually askdk@nlpublishing.com. Oops, daisy. I am pissed positive. I'm looking at it on Office 365.
Oh, then something wrong on our website then, because that's where I got it from.
Did you? Which one? Why you need to go correct that then, right?
Yeah. And we've been saying it wrong than all the other podcasts.
Oh, you suck. Fill in the blank.
No, go ahead. All right,
no,
I'm
good.
Stop and restart.
For what?
So we can correct the email.
No, man, child, please. Once again, our job is to be real. Like, we not doing that. That's one thing we're not doing. Like I said,
I know on the website on the publishing service it says askdk@nlpublishingservices.com. That's where I got it from.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. I'll make that change there so that falls back on me. And yeah, but I actually went to the actual source. And when I get off the phone with you, I need to call GoDaddy and log back in and check and see if we have anything. So as it stands now, it's safe to say we don't even know our own damn email address. And there's no, we don't know it specifically. And being transparent because we love you. And in my mind, this is the best podcast that we've done so far. Because, like, this is when you get to be real with stuff, right? So just call us. And it's a text number only. Don't you be calling this number. I'm
So
married,
you
and my
better
wife,
call Tyrell.
yeah, and my wife is a psycho. So it's a text only number. You want to get the good people, and we want to get the good people this number.
Yep, it is 202-715-1645.
Why are you whispering? Did they catch the 45?
202-715-1645.
Cool. That's what's
the
up.
number to text us. I'm more apt to text you back.
Oh, no. We got you. So yeah, definitely. And we're definitely going to have a segment on this podcast called Ask DK. And whether it's relationship questions, no matter what, entrepreneurial questions, no matter what question it is, please
ask.
Text them. Yeah, just ask. And we're going to have fun and answer them if we don't do anything else.
And no question literally is off limits. We will answer whatever you really ask.
I never said that. I never.
Because if we're going to be real and transparent, we can't censor the questions.
Whatever. Like they may ask something, like I'm just. All
like
right.
What? Like what? Please.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Everything ain't like we like we're invisible. We so transparent, but ask things within reason. Don't get beside yourself. But ask is what you can do.
I say ask. Ask whatever you want. Just say I'll answer. Most likely, because I have no filter.
Yeah.
Speaking of no filter, it's my favorite part of the show called What the Fuck News, where I get to bring to you the craziest crap that I have found on the internet while I was scrolling minding my own business. And DK, you're going to love these two pieces. I promise. If I've not brought you any good ones before, well, there's that smoothie one that you kind of, enjoyed. I will say that. But I got two good ones.
Yes.
So
interesting.
Here we are in the midst of quarantine still. Day, God knows what, 70 something, 80 something, I don't know. And a lot of us are working from home. Well, this gentleman has been working from home, doing his diligent duty. In between working on clients, he's been watching porn. Now, the only reason we know about this, huh?
I said, you don't say.
I don't, but I do. The only reason we find out about this is because while he's at home, logged into his work computer and watching porn in between his clients, everybody who is actually at the office working can see what he's watching.
You don't say.
Oh, but I do. I don't know what he watched, so please don't ask me that. Do not hit AskDK at nlpublishing.com about what porn he was watching because we do not know the storyline. But we do know he was watching it, and one of his coworkers took grand pity on him and emailed him and said, hey, buddy, love the fact that you're working from home, that you decided to furlough, great job. But if you could just please hit that blackout button on your screen while you're working from home so we can't see what porn you're watching, we'd all appreciate it.
Wow. So, and then you had because if you let your mind run to the worst case scenario, what he could be watching, then he could have, he could be really uncomfortable when he comes back to work. Although I don't think a person needs to explain, their sexuality, what type of sex they're into, as long as, you have willing participants and everything is legal and above board, not a problem. So you don't owe nobody no explanation. But the world that we live in, as much as we're yelling that we just accept, there's still judgment along with that so said acceptance. Like we say we accept this, right? But there's still an underlining judgment to go along with that. So if old boy is, into something that is not considered to be normal, and then, we supposed to be living in a society where, whoever you are, be true to you, and to thy own self be true is now acceptable. You can still come back to work, and then you'll have that underlying tension because your business is now on Front Street. So I would love to know what he watched. So if anybody out there has any more information on this story, I'm curious, and plus I'm nosy, so I guess that's one and the same thing. I need to know what he was watching. I don't want to pass judgment. I might want to look myself.
Say you and Pornhub about to go have a conference call.
I mean,
But here's my question: What did his coworkers do? Like, did y'all turn the volume up? Did you turn it down? Did you turn the screen off? Did y'all stand there and watch? Like, because he has to be doing this for a while for somebody to finally say, listen, we know what you're doing. So can you just hit the blackout button?
I don't know. That's a good question. Who knows? But if you think about it, as a group of people, what happens? A group of people is going to, stand around, talk about what's going on, and somebody that is always a high and mighty one in the group. Okay, where you at in life? There's always somebody that's high and mighty, and the high and mighty ones would be just utterly disgusted. Oh my God, I can't believe the nerve of him. Yeah.
While they searching what he's watching.
Think about it. They doing all this. I can't believe the nerve of him, but they're still standing watching as they're belittling or downplaying. They're still looking at. Not once they make a move to walk away. That'd be the crazy part to me. Like, you can't stand it, but you're right there in his presence. So, I don't know. Kudos to my man. I mean, he got balls.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, does it really now?
Oh, it gets better. So there's a doctor who recently just got busted for watching porn at work. Now, when he got busted, he's an older gentleman, much, much older than myself, and even older than you, DK. And he said his wife wouldn't let him watch it at home. So while he was at work between patients, minding his business in his office, he was watching porn.
So is this at your hospital or no?
No. Listen, my hospital got enough problems. We don't need this. No, it's not.
Quick question. How's that a problem?
Listen, when your hospital is up for sale, you don't want to have a physician be on the news about watching porn at work.
To be honest, I want my physician to be relaxed at all times. I don't want my physician to be tense. Especially if he has to do surgery. So if you need to, do whatever it is that you need to do to be relaxed, by all means, get relaxed. I'm okay with it.
Listen, he clearly had no fucks given to what he was like. Listen, I'm at work. I did my job. He's actually 70 years old. So.
Oh, come on now. See, if y'all think I'm like, you get to a certain age and you go way beyond being a lovable asshole to, like, my co-host just said, like minus 0.0000 fucks given. Like, what? Please beat it. Kick rocks. You get to a certain age, you just don't care no more.
Yeah. And he said, so when his statement was given, he said that he'd been addicted to pornography since he was 18. He bought magazines as a youngster and has actually been to counseling for sex addiction. He just, kind of said that throughout life, it, has been an issue for him. His wife did say that he compulsively was viewing it for a number of years. He did apologize to his wife because obviously, you never want to embarrass your significant other or spouse, depending on whatever your situation you find yourself in.
We're going to take a pause. We'll take a pause for a second. And thank you for that update about my man, his porn addiction. The good doctor putting his how you say that word? Stethoscope, whatever. Right. Putting that to good use. Yeah. My tongue don't work after 11:30. It's 11:32. And my wife has joined me in the office as I'm recording. So I'm going to acknowledge her. I don't know how long she's going to be here. This is what happens when you share office space. Actually, it ain't even office space. I'm in the corner, and I keep saying it, but what I'm going to do...
That's where all naughty children go, sir. The corner.
First of all, children, I'm half a century old. I've earned that right to be called a man, a grown-ass man, a grown-ass old man on top of that.
In the corner.
First thing. But like I said, I've been relegated to the corner of the office. She's actually trying to push me out. Eventually I will go. So we will resume said podcast as soon as my loving wife will kick rocks.
Oh, well, Lord, please don't let us be a witness to anything.
Of course not. Of course not. She's come to retrieve something. But, of course, me being transparent, I wanted to bring that to the podcast. And it's crazy. She works from home and she be having online business. And I bet not even come near the door. Like that double
standard
is beyond me.
It's her officer.
Yeah, okay. Picture that Kodak there. And I digress. I don't think so. Let's use the word our. But let's proceed with the podcast. I don't knock my guy. I would love to hear his story about him being addicted to porn at 18 and he's now 70. That's 52 years strong. And I wondered how does he balance his addiction with work?
He said he hadn't, the further on you read, he said he hadn't watched it in 5 years. So I'm not sure exactly what triggered him to stop watching for a hot second. And then, what triggered him to take it, to go back to it. But I mean, that's the true face of addiction. I mean, you can be away from something for a while, but I mean, it's not feeding, the hunger inside of him or whatever gratification he gets from it.
Interesting. I mean, whoa. True. We don't know what made him fall off the horse. That's first and foremost and whatnot. It can be trying, speaking personally. And like I said, we were joking and clowning earlier about being transparent. And I too, suffer from porn addiction, sexual addiction, the whole nine. And it's a work in progress. It's not an overnight fix. It's a serious addiction. Like, it can be crippling because like all addictions, it can be consuming. So I understand, I haven't, I'm not as old as him, so I haven't been walking in his shoes as long as he has. But, I am familiar with his steps. And I will tell you that, it can be crippling. And I know that, for it to surface this way, it has to be embarrassing for not only himself and definitely for his wife, because, it takes a toll on all, family members as well. So I wish for him to get back on the horse, and just take one day at a time. And I'm definitely speaking from experience now. Only thing you can do is take a day at a time. And if you fall off the horse, don't stay down. You fell off. You can read in between the lines. That means you visited Pornhub or wherever else. When you get done, just get back on the horse and then you start your countdown all over again. But there's worse things to be addicted to, but let's not make light of, being, a sex addict or a porn addict.
Do you remember what got you into it?
Oh, G. Monelli juice. I'm trying to think what got me into it. I don't know. First of all, I have an addictive personality. And so if I like something, I like something. And I've always liked the sight of sex and everything that came with it. I stumbled upon my father's skin mags. It's crazy. I miss my old man. But I stumbled upon my father's skin mags way back in the cut. And it was, this dark-skinned black woman, and she had the biggest titties. It's like her titties hung down to her ankles. I do not know what was attractive about that, but it is what it is. I don't want to say that it started there, but I know that, I just have an addictive personality and I like what I like. Just like the feeling of that height, that physical feeling that, I felt. So yeah, I can't pinpoint exactly, where it started, but, once I did, indulge, me indulging, was continuous for many, 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 many years thereafter.
Do you still watch now?
What is this, an interview? But of course I do, but I do. So this is the thing though. I have to tell myself, like, what am I gaining from it? Because you can only stay down in the rabbit hole for so long. You can only stay in one spot for so long. And you realize, like, okay, you can only watch this. Where we're going to, like, you got to come out the other side sooner or later. If not, it becomes the totality of your life. And so what happened was I realized what was my most valuable commodity, which was time. I'm wasting so much time. Forget watching somebody else do it. I need to do this myself. Or if not going to do that, I need to make better use of my time. So it's definitely not as bad as it once been. I'm not going to, be something that I'm not. I'm not going to get on the podcast like, I'm recovered. I don't do that no more. No. In need, I do go see Pornhub and take care of said business. But in the same token, it's definitely not as consuming as it once was. So I identify with the doctor, looking at, getting his fix, should I say, in between patients. I definitely understand that. But just like him, I'm pretty sure he understands like I'm wasting a large chunk of my life away. It's not something to be toyed with. No shape, no form or fashion.
Facts. The article did go on to say that as far as they could tell, it wasn't affecting his overall life. And I don't think everybody who's ever had not even just a porn addiction, but addiction in general can say, that it didn't affect their whole life. And so now I think they're putting him up for retirement, which, is the safe boot out. But on a personal standpoint, do I watch porn? Yes. Do I have an addiction? No. So, I mean, I can probably tell you in a month if I've watched it once. That's a lot. Are there other times where maybe I've watched it a little bit more? Yeah. But again, it's not an addiction for me. It's more a fascination and entertainment than anything else. So,
and research. And let's not forget research.
Every now and then you might need to learn a new trick or two. Everybody's, game is different as you get older. You gotta modify some things.
Facts. Yeah,
you gotta modify some things. So you gotta learn a new move or two. So,
right.
As seen on TV is really as seen on TV.
That's funny. Quick question. You said that he was politely asked to retire afterwards?
Yeah.
But he didn't break any laws. He didn't break any moral. Like, I'm kind of confused.
Well, I think for anybody, I mean, like you touched earlier, is that, we try to make it seem like we're so accepting of what everybody else is doing. And there's some people who really are that accepting, and other people who are super judgmental. And I think once it came to light, as many people are accepting of it, there were probably more people against it. And so once, his name is released, people are like, oh my God, that's my doctor. What if he's watching it and he's supposed to be charting? What, all the speculations are going to come into play. And at that point, it's just going to become too much.
That's interesting, to say the least. I mean, I feel a certain type of way. And by you describing it that way, then it's understandable to an extent. But I don't know. Like, I would think that, maybe that because he works at a hospital, so I'm pretty sure he has access to certain parts in the facility to get him the needed help for that, right? Instead of just pushing him out of the door. But being that we don't know all the facts going into his situation, then, it's easy to sit back and speculate what they could do, they couldn't do, or I don't know. Or maybe in their eyes, it was immoral for whatever the case may be. But like I said, since we don't know the whole story going in, from what I do know, I don't think it's right or fair to gently push him out of the door for that, especially if he hasn't committed a crime or did anything that was immoral.
Right. From the medical field standpoint, I'm not speaking for the whole field, obviously, or even where he, works or where I work, but a lot of the addiction that we are fighting every day, the part that the government will fund you for, is not porn addiction. The only addiction they're fighting right now is drugs. That's all their focus is. And if you turn on television, that's all you're going to hear about. It's, it's sad that addiction is such a broad word for a plethora of different things, whether it be porn, food, or relationship. I mean, whatever. People are addicted to whatever they want to be. Online shopping, actual shopping, going to the gym. Everybody's got their thing. And so, obviously a healthy dose of something is healthy, and a little bit too much is an addiction. And so, from the medical standpoint, though, it's just, you never want your credibility question. And of course, if it was my physician, because my physician is older, and if I felt like if it was him, I know I would look at him differently. So from a respect standpoint, because I'd be like, well, are you charting? Are you listening? Do you care that I'm telling you, I don't have corona, but I have this cough for 3 weeks and the allergy pills aren't clearing it up. What should I do? And if he brushes it off, what I'm saying? It just puts him in a sticky situation because everybody's going to fall back on maybe he was watching porn. So at that point, it's just easier for the facility and him to just bow out in grace.
But we're asking him to bow out in grace, and it has been proven that it's been detrimental to his performance at work.
Correct. But it's the perception of it. It's not that it actually happened.
I definitely get it.
The perception.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, like when you indulge in porn, when you watching porn, it's like it's not in the open, because you're gonna offend somebody, right? First and foremost, so it's always done in secret, in seclusion. So that gives it's creepy. It's creepy, form, right? Because it's done in seclusion, and that is very few people that watch porn for the sake of watching porn. They watch porn and then they masturbate afterwards. So that's you definitely need to be alone when indulging. Me personally, whatnot, like I understood where I was at, with it. I understood that my struggle with that, like, 'cause it's been a struggle. But my first book, because I'm an author, right? My first published book, should I say, is called The Ugly Side of Sex, which is available on Amazon.com. You can go check it out, and it's loosely based upon my life. Keyword is loosely. Some things were enhanced for sensationalism's sake. Other things were like dead ass and dead on, but I didn't write it when I wrote the book, The Ugly Side of Sex, I didn't write it from the aspect of, how to beat porn or a porn addiction or how to beat sex addiction. I just wrote what I went through. And in doing so, in selling my books, I in turn took my pain, my hurt, my shame at the time, and I was able to help other people. Case in point, I'm at work, and a lady that I work with was kind enough to buy my book and support me. And so one day I'm sitting there chilling and whatnot, get ready to head home. And then she sits right down in front of me, and she looks troubled, like she got tears in her eyes or something to that effect. So I understood that she needed space. There was something troubling her. So, I gave her a space, and then I worked up enough courage to ask, what's wrong, what's bothering you? And she said, I just got finished reading your book. And, she went to her whole spiel, like, how she used sex to cover up her scars, how she used sex to deflect, how she used sex to feel love. Like her sex to her was her go-to. You got some people that's emotional eaters. She used, sex was her emotional outlet. But she didn't have and she didn't attach love to it. It was just that I had to get off. And then by that time that it was her outlet, then it became an addiction. And so we talked back and forth, and she was identifying with some of the characters in the book. And then I was honest and forthcoming enough to telling her that most of all that was me. And I told her what I did to battle back and not to have that control my life. Cause it's a controlling thing, because like an emotional eater will always just go eat. And it's easy to be an emotional eater because nobody's going to look at you different from just eating food all day long. They're going to look at you as a fat ass, right? You need to lose that. But then they're not going to look at the emotional distress by a person eating every 10, 15 minutes, finding something to snack on. They're just going to label it as, he's greedy or she's greedy, and they're going to keep it moving, right? Once you have a sex or porn addiction, there's a bevy of misconceptions that goes with that. There's a bevy of true things that go with that. So I was advising her from my perspective how to navigate those waters. Another interesting thing because of said book that happened was a lady had brought my book, and she got back in contact with me. This is way back when, and she wanted to talk to me about what I had wrote. And, we had met at our house that was across the street. We got something to eat, sat down. And then she actually told me about my book, but had me looking at what I had written in a different light. And that's crazy because I wrote it. I know what I meant by when I wrote it. I know each scene represents this, but the way that, she took it and gave it back to me made me look at that with a whole new perspective and a whole newfound respect. But that's the way it affected her. So once you write something, once you give something to the world, the way that they perceive it, that's on them. There's nothing, you can't control that. I wrote it, and no matter how you intended it to be received, the way it's perceived after that, nothing you can do about it. But long story short, she too was going through things in her life sexually, and she used the time to talk to me, and it was therapeutic. And so this went on for a minute. So, and this is the beauty of it. Like I said, I didn't try to write a help you book. I just wrote from an honest vein and letting people know, like, this is what I went through. Take from it what you will, right? And I when I first met her, I had a couple of books with me. All right. And so she was like, can I pay you for, talking to you for the hour, like real life therapy? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I was coming, I come to IHOP to eat or, on the regular because I don't feel like cooking. And she was like, okay, can we meet again next Wednesday? I'm like, sure, not a problem. And she said, I owe you. You don't understand. She was like really adamant about that. She owed me. She like, you don't understand. Like what you're doing for me is just like, I needed to talk because you get me. You understand. I feel everything that you went through is just like, you were right there with me. She said, I see you got some books there. Let me buy them from you. I'm like, you don't have to. You done bought it one time. She said, I'll tell you what. Give me the books. I'm going to go sell them and I'm going to bring you the money back come Wednesday. So, of course, I'm a little leery. She seems over eager to some way, somehow, please me. Not a problem. So next Wednesday come around, I'm already at the table. I'm eating, feeding my face. It's what fat people do. I'm a foodie. Been a foodie before it was cool. So I loved it. Long story short, she comes in. She sits down. Before she says hello, she has money in her hand, paid in full. She orders her food. We get to talking again about another section of the book. And she's like, you got any more books? I didn't have any on me at the time, but I did have a whole box, unopened books in the trunk of my car. I just sold out one box. I had another box I was going to get to, the next day. She was like, let me get the whole box. Next Wednesday, I'm going to bring all your money back. So we did what the math was, the number of books time, what I was selling them for. That's what I'm going to bring you back. Now, I don't know if she was keeping the books and selling them, keeping the books for herself and then paying me, or actually selling them. I don't know. I promise you. But she was trustworthy enough and reliable enough to bring back the money. But the thing was not about the necessary transaction of her selling books for me. The thing was that, I had wrote this book from my pain point and it helped somebody. And so I think anybody that's going through, no matter what type of addiction, talk about it. If you don't talk about it, at least get it out. Will you stop doing it? Who knows? That's only up to you. But once you become aware of it, I think that's over 50% of the fight. You become aware of, why you're doing what you're doing. That's 50% of the fight. And now you got a winning chance. When you're in denial and you just think like, I'm not hurting nobody. No, you're hurting yourself because you're wasting a couple of things. You're wasting time, which is the most valuable thing that we all have is time. The other thing is that you're not cultivating healthy relationships. Right? Whether it be, sexual or not, you're not cultivating because everything, you only respond to what it looks like, porn wise, like nothing else, gets you at attention. Please read between the lines. Unless it looks like what you've been looking at, that visual stimuli, right? So you got to get a handle on that. So for the doctor that's going through it and for the, safe to say hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people around the world that may have some form of addiction that's sexually related, like, find out why. And then once you found out why, then you can move forward. Like, I don't care who you got to talk. It doesn't even have to be somebody in the profession that the profession that, the clinical profession. Just find somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to, that won't pass judgment, and then you can move forward in your life.
So you said earlier that, you watch porn by yourself. Is it, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but is it because you do it in shame or do you just not want to watch with somebody else? Because, some couples do watch porn together.
No, I would prefer to watch. Back then it didn't, like, you have to understand, I'm a strange cookie, right? Like I'm an oatmeal cookie and I got a whole lot of, pieces in me. I'm definitely a strange cookie. So with that being said, I'm not even tripping off of, no. I don't have no shame. Like I would prefer to watch that with, whoever my mate is at the time, my girlfriend, wife, significant other. That for me, that don't make a difference. Like, because hopefully that would lead somewhere to something happening, even to this day, you would prefer that. But, once again, we just did our previous podcast about being honest with where you at sexually with your mate. Sometimes y'all just might not be, evenly yoked in the sex department. Now, you should work towards that. Let me be emphatic about making that clear. You need to work towards to first of all, have a consistent love life. You need to be intimate physically with your significant other, wife, whomever, right? On a consistent basis. That way, you have that bond, that physical bond. You want them to you want to train your body for your mate, your significant other to be the go-to. Like that's my go-to when I need a need met. And that will help you with whatever sexual addiction or porn addiction that you're going to. Because what happens is you're starting to focus less on what you see, making that your go-to and your stimuli. And now you're dealing in the real tangible world.
Interesting. So what would be your, what do I want to say? I guess advice would be the best thing. I guess once you kind of, now that you're kind of out of it to the best of your ability, do you think that, you know, we should be watching like our kids more and what they're being exposed to? Because I feel like sex is sexualized a lot. Like I feel like some of the stuff that they, you know, that they watch, that they see.
Not even sex, just TV period. I just think, I know what you're saying. I got you. Don't even worry about it. Look, I think TV period, and yeah, I promise you I got you. I think our kids, and I don't want to offend nobody. That's not my job. But my job ain't to sit here and lie. My job, like I told you, I'm too old. You gonna hear me holler about my age a lot because that's my excuse. Oh, really? I don't need one, you know, to tell it like it is and let the chips fall where it may. Like, I don't care if you're gay. Don't care if you're heterosexual. I don't care if you're bisexual. I don't care if you're bi-curious. I don't care if you're with the LGBT community and how many alphabets that goes with that. No offense, because I don't know them all, but I want to be inclusive. I don't care what type of what, like when it comes to your sexuality, I don't care what you subscribe to, right? My problem today, right, when it comes to television, social media, and then the content that's being forced upon our kids, like, let them make their choice without seeing that. Now, I know that everybody wants a representation. I know gay people want to be represented on TV. I have personally no problem with that, none whatsoever, because we live in a world where their love is no different than heterosexual love, right? Same thing with bisexuals, right? I don't care. Like, once again, I honestly do not care. But what I do care about is like sex itself. I don't care, like, once again, if it's gay, straight, bi, like sex itself is too much on TV that's aimed at kids, or they have these jokes or these inside jokes, like, and they're cartoons, and kids gravitate, they watch cartoons, you know, and you're like, whoa, that kid shouldn't be hearing that at that age. Let them get much older so they can make their own informed choices and not have their minds, you know, if not made up for them, at least that idea implanted in their head. Now, somebody's going to hear that and think like, you know, just because you watch TV doesn't make you, you know, gay, or doesn't make you want to have sex. But, you know, thoughts are things. If you consume something long enough, thoughts are things, and then you act out or you become curious about that thing. Once again, the world is, we're in trying times. Let a kid be a kid as long as a kid can be a kid. As long as a kid, like, I don't care how long. Like, I have a beautiful daughter. I am uber, all capital letters, protective of her. I'm protective of her, what she watched, what she consumed, the whole nine. Like, but there's going to come a point in time that I can't be there in the Lord. So she needs to make decisions what she likes and don't like on her own. And whatever decision she decides to make, she's always going to be daddy baby. I don't care. She's always going to be my baby. But I just want her to make her own decision and not be influenced.
Right. And because I think as a parent, as you get to mold them and shape them, I think our goal is to not do what our parents did, because we see not so much the error in them, but we just see how things can be done differently and how things can just be done better. Like, we just evolve as parents.
You nice. Like, call a spade. You know what I'm saying? I'm like it's late, right? What time is it? 11:57 Eastern time. About to go on Monday morning, about to be the 25th, right? So it's late. So it's too late for me to be nice. Like, stop. Like, here's a parenting hack, right? For people that's listening, you got kids. It's okay not to do the bullshit that Big Mama and them did if you want a better life. It's okay not to do the bullshit with your kids that Big Mama and them did. If you want to be like, I love my mother to life. The greatest woman known to man, bar none. Bar none. But I am smart enough to know what to take from her and what to leave. Same thing with my old man. I promise my father was one of a kind. Like, he was just a star, not only in his mind, he was a star in my heart, right? But I know what to take from him to apply to my marriage, to apply to me being a father. And I know exactly what to leave the rest of the bullshit at. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I think what happens with a lot of people, they get in the doggone, they get like, it's cool. Big Mama them did it and I'm okay. No. You're not okay. You're not. Like if you had trauma in your life as a child, and then you want to think that by raising your kids the same way that they won't, bear the burden of that same trauma, then who you lying to? Then who you fooling? So do yourself a favor. It's okay. You don't have to go confront your parents and be disrespectful. Just like the things, the way that I was raised, I'm going to take the great things and I'm going to maximize them towards my kids. But the things that I know that was detrimental to me, that stunted my growth, I'm going to leave right there. I'm not going to put that burden on them because my mother did it. That doesn't make it okay.
Right. So that was, I guess the non-filtered version of, evolving as a parent is that you don't want to take your childhood traumas and put them on them. Do I maybe give my kids a little too much freedom? It's very possible because I let them, voice their emotions in a positive way. Like they can't just yell at me. You made me feel no. Whoa. What we're not gonna do. But I want them always to be able to express and have open dialogue with me. And so for me, I'm always kind of like, I'm not comfortable with you watching this, so I will block it if need be, or have a conversation with them about what they're seeing. I just feel like there's just certain, like you said, there's just certain jokes and certain colorings that I'm like, do you get that? Do you understand what that means? Do you? You have to ask these questions because it's like, do you know what they're saying? Because if you do, then one, we need to have a conversation. And two, I need to think what you're watching.
Facts. But even if they don't get what they say, that seed is already planted. Like right. Like I don't, that seed is already planted. Even if they don't get it, then that thought, like, and people can like think that, I'm on some conspiracy shit. Cool. It's not a problem. It won't be the first time I'm accused of that. But I think if you do your research, there's certain terminology, there's certain words that can be said, quickly, and it plants a seed in a person's mind, right? And if you're not aware of it, you wonder like, wow, where did that thought come from? So like, you got to be careful what you consume. Like the old saying, you are what you eat. That goes by what you consume too. Spin this back towards sexual addiction and porn addiction. Like if you keep watching, a certain type of porn, if you keep watching a certain type of pornographic act, you want to participate after a while. The curiosity is going to be overridden by the need to do, the need and the want to do. Because those seeds are planted and you're daily reaffirming those seeds because you're consistently watching them. So if you have a kid that's consistently watching a cartoon show and the cartoon show was known for its tongue-in-cheek humor, on sexuality, on race, on racism, like Bugs Bunny. Like I don't want to go down that like a lot of stuff. When I came up as a kid, I looked at them like it was cute and I laughed. But as you get older and you see it, you're like, wow, that was a racist ass cartoon. Or that was an adult joke in that cartoon, right? So I'm just being real. Like some people may take a certain way. Some people going to be like, my generation is overly sensitive. I mean, I really don't care. Raise and govern your household best you see fit. And I'm going to do likewise in mine. I'm not going to pass judgment on the outcome of your household, but I'm going to be thankful with the outcome of my household.
Amen. So any advice that you would give to somebody who's maybe currently struggling right now, that's just like, listen, I'm quarantined. I'm not getting any. I'm frustrated.
I need to go ahead and get these rocks off. Keep going.
Yes. Yep. That there. And they might have already, been down this rabbit hole of, knowing, hey, I have this addiction. I probably shouldn't, but, scratch, an itch must be scratched.
Yeah. So the question was, do I have any advice for them?
Yes.
If you do it, it's not the end of the world. Don't beat yourself up. Nobody died because you masturbated. Sorry. Just being real. No, nobody. Like when it's just you and you're just hurting you right now. That it can graph out and you can, start to hurt other people. Right. But, of course, please get help before get that. When I mean hurt other people, I don't mean in a physical sense. What I mean, like I said earlier, cultivating relationships. I think that because, watching pornography is such a high stimuli that it dulls your senses to other things. Like what should arouse you no longer arouses you. Like you could be laying, in bed with your wife, and your wife could be drop dead gorgeous, right? But for whatever reason, because she doesn't look like what you just got finished masturbating to all day long, she no longer arouses you. You're hurting her. And then she's going to think, if you don't tell her what's going on, she's going to automatically assume that you're getting your needs fulfilled someplace else. Now we got problems. So a couple things you got to do. You got to be honest where you at in life. And it's embarrassing only if you make it to be embarrassing. And then if the person that you love lords this over your head, if you're in an argument, they put it back you, they toss it back in your face, or if the way that they're talking to you is belittling, if you're trying to share it with them in order for them to have a better understanding where you're at in your life, and you want to transition out of being an addict to porn and or sex, and they belittle you, and then that they're not really for you. You know what I mean? That significant other, your wife, that husband, whomever, they're not for you, because you're coming to them. We're talking about being transparent, but you're coming on the podcast. But you're coming to them in full transparency, and for them to take a shot at you, like, make a mental note and know that they're not. You can't go to them for support. It's not even possible, because in anger, in you, in whatever it is that they feel, they're going to step. So I can't go to you. Cool, not a problem, right? But on the other hand, flip side of the coin, if you have a spouse, significant other, wife, husband that is understanding, that wants to help you so you can help the both of y'all, then by all means, leave the shame right there with the sticky piece of tissue. You know what I mean? Leave the shame right there with the sticky keyboard, right? Leave the shame right there in your sticky drawers. Please read between the lines and all the puns I just dropped. Leave it right there, and then have that conversation, because the best way to overcome it is admitting it. I know that's cliche, but it's true. Admit, I got a problem. I love to play with my little man. Or if you're female, because let's not get it twisted, it's not like women do suffer from sex and porn addiction as well. And if you're a female, and you have a husband, whomever, just be honest. I have a problem, right? And there's actually programs and things that you can, in treatment that you can look to and get help from. But if you don't feel that you're that far gone, if you feel like, the first thing is admitting it to yourself. And then if you're in a relationship, have that conversation with your spouse. And then both of y'all together in love, in understanding, in acceptance, can sit down and map out a plan, the best plan, for you and them, getting you the help that you need. Now, like I said, I'm not going to sit and act like I'm holier than thou, like, oh, no, I don't play with my dick. No, that's not true. But I'm well of where I used to be when it was all consuming, until okay, it's been a minute. She told me the other night, I need to go get this rocks off. I can go to sleep. Wake up tomorrow morning, do it all over again. So I'm just being transparent to who I am. A lot of people will make an admittance to having a problem, and then they're going to jump on a high horse and well, I've beat it. I'm no longer suffering from it. I'm just keeping it real, and doing so by me being transparent and me, being honest, aka keeping it real. I'm doing that in hopes of helping somebody, because somebody may be exactly in my shoes. And if I'm not being honest about where I'm at in my walk with this addiction, then I'm doing them a great disservice, because they may be teetering on the fence of falling over into the abyss of lust. And I've been there. It ain't cool. It's not. I promise you. It's like you wake up, sleep, eat, drink, sex. It's just a vicious cycle, and you just got to start to want more out of life. And in doing so, I've been accomplished a lot once I actually start to put time. Time is my greatest asset. So I've written quite a few books. I've assisted quite a few authors with, getting their books to becoming bestsellers. I've done so much. I've designed websites, got my own self-publishing company, 2 podcasts, just bought a house. So I'm telling you, making a U-turn with this thing is possible. But you got to be honest in the process. You got to be honest for anything. Forget addiction, right? Wherever you at in your life, be honest with yourself. And once you're honest with yourself, just be cool. Let's keep it a buck. Once you honest with yourself, that's all that really matters. Now you invite other people in that's going to help you along in your journey, but you got to be honest with you first. That's the first thing. Once you're honest with yourself, Oh, you get to move mountains after that. It's like, right. Just like you in the AA meeting. Hi, my name is Kenneth. I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Kenneth.
You could have put a little more zest behind it.
That's what they sound. They sound like zombies. Hi, Kenneth. What? I'm just being real, but I'm still gonna be a butt at the end of the day. But you just do yourself a favor. Look in the mirror and just assess where you at. And they have actually some tests that you can take. I don't have the links to know where they're at, but you can go research them. Like, you're not, handicapped. You're not challenged. Go research. And what you're looking for is they actually got forms or tests that you can take that will determine whether you do have a sexual addiction, a sex addiction, or porn addiction. Go take those, and that will help you understand where you're at with whatever it is that you're dealing with.
And I think the best part of this last part, is a segment is that you have to be honest with yourself. And I think so many people, look at themselves in a shameful way, not even just with the porn addiction, any addiction or anything they're struggling with, whether they are, a believer, a non-believer. We take a lot of stuff, to heart, and we're so scared of telling the truth because nobody wants to be judged or to be looked in a different light than, how they live right now. And so a lot of people, are scared to tell themselves the truth.
Facts. Growth comes out of being uncomfortable. Bottom line, flat out. You don't grow, you don't evolve, you don't become the best version of you being comfortable. It just don't happen. It don't. I really want you to think about it. There's a lot of things I want in life. And tomorrow, tomorrow's the actual holiday. We're recording this it's Monday morning. So today is the holiday, right? I should have been in bed because I've been up since, I want to say 4:35. Right. That's my time. I usually get up. I've been up that early, but because I want more, I can't be comfortable. I have to get up. I have to do what needs to be done because I want more. So I'm saying that to tell you that if you want to grow in any aspect in your life and whatnot, you got to get uncomfortable. No matter what, you got to get uncomfortable and make it happen. You can't expect to attain anything if you're not, if there's no accompanying difficulty with it. It's not even possible.
Facts. Life comes by sacrifice. The life you want, you got to sacrifice for, whether it's your sleep, whether it's your time, whether it's your money. It don't
friendships, family.
Yeah, you name it. It all
Pornhub.
It all comes by.
I've sacrificed Pornhub for you people to be a better version of me and bring you this podcast. I've sacrificed Pornhub for you people. Don't get it twisted. That's how much I love y'all.
And we're so appreciative. And this is the part where you get to give your appreciation back to the people. It is the Daily Love Jones.
Is it? Okay. Right. I'm being a butt. So this is a part of the podcast. And if you've been listening to the previous podcast, this is the part where I supposedly wax deep, which is kind of hard to do because I'm only 5'7". I am fat. So I can't wax deep, but I can wax wide. This podcast here was not as difficult to do as a person may think, by me opening up about what I'm going through or what I'm going through, because it's not the process. It hasn't ended. So it's a continuous thing to the day I die. That's one thing about being an addict with anything. You're an addict till you die. You may be a recovering addict, but you're still an addict nonetheless, right? This was easy for me to do. Pretty much therapeutic. And the reason why, because I wrote a book almost 10 years ago called The Ugly Side of Sex, right? You can pick that up on Amazon.com, by the way. Yes, that's a cheap plug. Sue me tomorrow morning. But this was easy for me to do because I was honest with myself 10 years ago about where I was at in life, and I wrote about it. I didn't, I needed to get that monkey. I need to make it tangible. I need to make it that this thing I'm going through that had its hooks in me. I need to make it tangible. And in doing so, it's easy for me to talk about it like it ain't about nothing. I'm at an age, and you're going to hear me talk about I'm at an age I really don't what you think about me, and public opinion don't move me. As long as when I walk through the door, my daughter's look at me and Superman, daddy home. Like that, what we talk, we ain't talking about nothing else. So it's easy for me, and it can be easy for you too. But the first thing you got to do is just be honest with yourself. in all aspects of your life. I'm not even talking about having an addiction. Just be honest with yourself where you at and whatever it is that's troubling with you. Get out a pen, piece of paper. You don't got to broadcast it to the world. It's just you. Write on a piece of paper. This is where my trouble areas. Now, if those trouble areas are to the point where as they may be woefully detrimental to you and the things you're trying to accomplish, then okay, make that honest assessment, go get help for it, or at least start the process, right? If those doggone detrimental attributes, no matter what they are affecting your house, your livelihood, the people that's nearest to you, then go have that conversation with them because you need help. The more people can help you on your journey to become the best you possible, you need that more so. But at the end of the day, it starts with you alone being honest. Once you take care of that, once you talk to the people that needs to be talked to, then you start to walk better. Then you start to, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a shameful person. I'm not going to keep beating myself up every day because nobody's perfect. That's the key thing. Like, ain't nobody perfect. Why you feel bad for what you do? As long as you're not hurting nobody. Like, if you're just hurting you, you should feel bad because you're hurting you, right? But don't beat yourself up and look at you like you're the worst thing since Trump. Don't do that. We're human. We're flawed. Matter of fact, we're beautifully flawed. So whatever your shortcomings may be, if they're detrimental to you and where you want to go to in life, address them, get the help that's needed for them, and then move accordingly. And then you too, one day, 10 years later, can look back and expound greatly upon where you used to be to where you're at. Now, you may not even have conquered it. You may just take a half a step in 10 years, but that half a step is definitely better than taking no step at all at the end of the day. So do yourself a huge favor. Be honest. Get honest with yourself. Get help if it's need be, and start walking away from the thing that's killing you. That's the only thing I'm asking. Walk away from. It's not like you can only do it for so long. Like, it's hard to reach rock bottom having a porn addiction or sexual addiction because there is no, like drunk driving or like drinking, right? You can get in your car and kill somebody. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's happened. As soon as I stop talking, I'm going to Google it. I'm pretty sure somebody out there has died because they masturbated so much. They masturbated too much. That's the worst thing that can happen. So you looking at it like the worst thing that can happen is I can just pull it off and die, right? But your thing is like you're more valuable than what you're addicted to. But I just need you to realize that. I need you to move forward from that. Do me a favor. We're going to get our act together over here at the Love Is Podcast, and we're going to find out exactly what our email address is. But anybody that's having a real life problem, suffering from any type of addiction, I'm not going to answer your questions unless you want me to on air. I will personally, like, text me on the number. Karen, can we get the number again, please?
Yes, we can. It is 202-715-1645.
1645?
1645.
Got you. Right. So, like, text me that. If you're going through something, any type of addiction, you need help. I'm nobody's counselor. I don't fancy myself as being just great motivational speaker. I just fancy myself being a real ass dude. Bottom line, flat out. I'm just a real person. I go through the same shit you go through. Like, yep, I curse. Yep, I still masturbate. Yep, I do a lot of things that real everyday people do. But I one thing I don't do, I'm not afraid to have the tough conversations with myself. I'm not afraid to honestly self-assess myself. I'm not afraid of doing those two things. And because I was willing to do that, I am much further along than I would have been if I never chose to do those things. And I'm not special. Now, I'm not cut from a different cloth. I'm cut from the same cloth that you're cut from. And that's the cloth of being a human being. So if I can do it, if I can do it, so can you. And if you need some help in getting to where you want to go, just text me and we'll take it from there.
Well, that is all, folks. You have chosen to spend your hour with us, and we do appreciate it because you could have been anywhere doing anything, but you chose to be with us. I am that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, tell people goodbye.
Goodbye, people. See you next week.
Clearly, it's time for him to go night-night. We out.
Bye.
This episode of the Love Is Podcast has ended, But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.